just a surprise, if not a shock?
Under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't have happened. Tomorrow's the day, we're going to be happy regardless.
One of the truly stunning stories in the history of the draft is Shedeur Sanders sliding straight in to Saturday. Nobody knows where he's going to go.
With the 144th pick, the Cleveland Browns select Shedeur Sanders.
Take a minute, be upset that you fell in the draft, but I think now you attack this opportunity and prove everyone wrong.
For the fans, thank you for everybody, and thank you for the Browns organization. Give me a chance.
From Shedeur Sanders' shockingly historic slide to now 4 very different quarterbacks on this Browns roster. Cleveland might lack winning season, but boy, they do not lack drama. What everyone wants to know is there a quarterback of the future on this roster? Our Adam Schefter takes us inside one of the most intriguing quarterback rooms in the NFL right now.
The Cleveland Browns are not going to be successful until we get a quarterback.
Cleveland hasn't produced any Super Bowls, but it has produced as much quarterback drama as any team in the league.
The Browns are the biggest disappointment in the NFL.
Since returning to the NFL in 1999, no team has used more quarterbacks than the Browns, who have had 40, 10 more than the next closest team, the Bears. This year, the Browns have the league's most intriguing quarterback room. There's former NFL comeback player of the year Joe Flacco in a return engagement to Cleveland, former first-round pick Kenny Pickett trying to prove something, third-round pick Dylan Gabriel, and fifth-round pick Shedeur Sanders.
It's just me versus me. You know, I can't control any other decision besides that, so I just try to be my best self.
They're being graded on every play. There's a variety of things that they're being graded on, but obviously for the quarterback, decision-making, technique, accuracy.
Joe Flacco's going to be the day one starter.
You know what Joe Flacco is. Pickett has been on 3 teams in what, a year?
The Browns are used to turning to rookie quarterbacks. Since 1999, they've had 12 different rookie quarterbacks start 89 games.
I think the focus should be on the rookies. We know what the veterans are right now.
Browns own 2 first-round picks in the supposedly quarterback-rich 2026 NFL Draft. If Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, and Sanders don't work out again, the Browns will be adding to their quarterbacks played total and starting another.
The Cleveland Browns select.
The Browns quarterback question is one reason why Cleveland has the longest odds of winning the AFC North, with Baltimore heavily favored to win their 3rd straight division title, according to ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Jeremy Fowler has more on Shedeur Sanders and the rest of the division.
Well, the Cleveland Browns have been happy with Shedeur Sanders' development thus far. They felt like in the spring he was throwing with conviction, aggressively, willing to throw in tight windows. They even liked the way that he acquitted himself with the media in Berea. But he did get a lot of backup reps, a lot of 7-man defenses coming his way, no pass rush. So he's got a lot to show in training camp. The Browns, really, their goal in the spring was to just get the 4 quarterbacks as many reps as they could. Now it's about crystallizing the depth chart in late July. Veteran Joe Flacco should figure prominently in that process. Now let's go over to the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson and Baltimore have had exploratory contract talks. That's great news for the Ravens. He has 3 years left on his deal, but Baltimore clearly would like to get ahead of that ballooning quarterback market where guys are getting obscene money now. We saw it with the Bills back in March. They laid a blueprint for Baltimore when they signed Josh Allen to a 6-year, $330 million deal, despite him having multiple years left on his current contract. Jackson, however, has proved to be a shrewd negotiator from his last time representing himself as his own agent. We'll see what happens there. And you got the Pittsburgh Steelers, T.J. Watt. Steelers, I'm sensing, are optimistic that they can reach a deal with Watt eventually. My sense is that he will probably be the highest paid pass rusher in the league when this is all said and done. He wants to be a Steeler for life. The Steelers want that. He's a legacy-type player. They believe at 30 years old he still has several good years left. They're just going to have to come up with a number and a good guarantee structure. He did miss minicamps. There's a lot of work to do, but typically Pittsburgh perks up on these things around training camp in late July. Then you have, contract-wise, Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals. This one is probably the stickiest. So both sides did resume contract talks fairly recently. It has not led to a deal. Both sides do appear dug in right now. At least they know where each other stands going into the summer where they can hopefully hash something out. He doesn't want to do a short-term deal. He's 30 years old. He's proven himself with back-to-back seasons of 17.5 sacks. So we need to see how far Cincinnati is.
NFL reporter Jeremy Fowler, let's talk about Vic Fangio's defense. As we just heard, the Eagles lost 4 starters, got a lot of young guys there. Are they going to go out and try to make a move maybe late in the summer, or are they happy with what they have?
Well, Hannah, we're used to the Eagles making splash moves. Right now, they're content. That is not their MO. They have not spent big this offseason. They've scaled back their books. They've already paid a lot of star players, and they're happy with their young guys, especially in the secondary. But I am looking at cornerback at least as a possibility as you get closer to camp. I'm going to point out Asante Samuel Jr. He's one of the top cornerbacks on the market, but he had a neck issue, had neck surgery. So he's going to get a checkup in late July, and then teams could get involved. So that's one that the Eagles have at least monitored in the past. But I'm told Keely Ringo they've really been happy with. Mac McWilliams, a young player. So they feel like they've drafted well enough that they don't have to force the issue with some sort of splash signing around free agency.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you have a young defense and you can spend money on the offensive stars that you want, it's not a bad formula. All right, it has been 20 years since the NFC East has had a repeat champion. We all know the Commanders are coming for everybody, right? So let's start there and what the other teams have done to, stay even or try to with the Eagles.
Yeah, we'll start with Jayden Daniels' hand. I mean, obviously the spotlight's going to be on him. Top 5, top 6 quarterback in the entire NFL now. So the Commanders feel like he's going to avoid that sort of sophomore slump that you see some quarterbacks go through because his sort of maniacal work ethic. He's a 5 a.m.er. He's in the building early. He's gotten a lot of work this offseason with Deebo Samuel. They believe that he can provide some easy yards for him on screen passes, handoffs, all that fun stuff. And they're going to have to get to work because Terry McLaurin, contract issue, could be a holdout unless they don't make progress on a new deal. You see George Pickens there with Dallas, so the spotlight is on him because I've talked to a lot of people around the league, including the NFC East. That Pickens trade has their full attention. They believe that really does add a new dimension because he's one of the best contested ball catchers in the entire league. If he can stay on the upright, keep that maturity sort of in check in a contract year, could be big things with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. Then you got Jackson Dart. So I was told from somebody with the team that late in OTAs, things finally started to click for Dart as far as the mental portion of the game, learning the cadence, what Brian Daboll wants out of the offense, decision making. He carried that over into minicamp. So, look, they're taking it slowly. This is not a situation where he's going to be thrust into action early. They have Russell Wilson ready to go. But they feel like Dart established himself in 2 areas. He's a quick learner, and he's highly motivated.
He's got to be their quarterback of the future, right? I mean, he absolutely has to. There's a lot at stake there, front office, coaching, and the like.
Yeah.
But this was the right decision.
For sure. I would say, Hannah, when I talk to people inside team organizations about young quarterbacks, you can usually tell one of 2 things. Either they'll say, oh, he's a project, things will go okay, or they'll be really excited about that player, like he's going to be really good.
Right.
It's the latter with the Giants. They really are excited about this guy, even if it's going to take some time.
That's great. It would be great for them. Meanwhile, ESPN Analytics gives the Eagles a 51% chance.
The star on his helmet, and with expectations as high as ever, the questions remain whether the additions will be enough to get Dallas above mediocrity. Here's Todd Archer with more.
It hit Dak Prescott in March.
3 1 2 3.
He is now the longest tenured Cowboy.
Amazing how fast it happens and not taking anything for granted.
I want to win a championship. The legacy, the things, whatever comes after our finished plan will take care of itself.
History is not on his side. Since 1980, only one quarterback, Ken Anderson with the Bengals in 1981, has taken their team to a Super Bowl for the first time and been their starter as long as Prescott.
They're not living up to the start.
They just are committed to mediocrity.
They're the Cowboys. They will fall. The highest paid quarterback in NFL history, he has just 2 playoff wins. By this time in their careers, Cowboys Hall of Famers Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman had their combined 5 Super Bowl trophies. 2025 might be Prescott's last best shot. 3 first-round picks on the offensive line. CeeDee Lamb and newly acquired George Pickens are among the top wide receiver duos in the NFL.
Parsons covered. Parsons got him.
Micah Parsons might be the best defensive player in the league. If the Cowboys and Prescott don't get it done this year, the franchise's Super Bowl drought will reach 30 seasons. So, if not now, when?
For more on the Cowboys, we bring in our NFL insider, Jeremy Fowler. And George Pickens, a big offseason pickup for the Cowboys, made a good impression at minicamp just about a week or two ago on the field. What are people around the league saying about this Cowboys acquisition of George Pickens?
Yeah, I mean, this George Pickens trade has the league's full attention, particularly in the NFC East. People I've talked to in that division feel like he could tilt the field for Dallas and he'll be a major player because he is one of the best contested catchers in the league. Body contorted, things downfield. So he gives